On a cold morning in 1979, a man walked into a quiet Scottish forest and was attacked by something that officially does not exist. The police saw the evidence, the doctors confirmed the injuries, and then everyone went silent. Places where nothing extraordinary should ever happen, and yet sometimes those are exactly the places where reality fractures just enough to let something slip through. Dechmont Woods, just outside Livingston in Scotland, is one of those places. If you visited today, you wouldn't think twice about it. A modest patch of woodland, damp soil, bare trees in winter. The kind of place people walk their dogs or pass through on a gray afternoon. Nothing dramatic, nothing ancient, nothing mysterious. And yet, on November 9th, 1979, something happened there that has never been explained. Not by police, not by scientists, not by governments, and maybe more unsettling than that, it may have never been meant to be explained. Robert Taylor was not the kind of man you would have suspect at the center of a conspiracy. He wasn't a dreamer. He wasn't chasing UFOs. He wasn't looking for anything unusual. He was a 58-year-old forestry worker, practical, grounded, a man whose world was built on things you could touch: soil, trees, weather, routine. The kind of man who trusted what he could see and measure. On that November morning, he did what he always did. He drove out to Dechmont Woods in his pickup truck. His red setter jumped out beside him. The air was cold, damp still. The sky hung low and gray. Nothing about the day suggested anything out of the ordinary. He walked the familiar path toward a clearing he had visited countless times before. When Taylor stepped into the clearing, he stopped, hovering just above the ground. Silent, motionless, was something that did not belong. It wasn't resting on the earth. It wasn't supported by anything. It floated. He described it as a large, dark dome, roughly 6 meters across. Not shiny, not metallic in the way machines usually are. Instead, it seemed to absorb light like a surface that didn't want to be seen around. Its base were protrusions, mechanical shapes, evenly spaced as if designed with purpose. But the strangest part, the edges, they shimmered, not like heat hay, not like reflection, something deeper, as if the object wasn't entirely stable, as if it was only partially there, like reality itself wasn't quite holding it in place. Taylor stood there, trying to make sense of it. His mind searched for something familiar, machinery, equipment, anything, but nothing matched. Then the smaller objects appeared from beneath the hovering craft. 2 spherical objects emerged, barked in a way Taylor had never heard before. Deep, urgent, afraid. The dog retreated behind him, pressing against his legs. Something was wrong. Something the animal understood before he did, as if hooks or grips had locked into his trousers at ankle height, and then they pulled hard. He was dragged forward toward the craft, and that's when the smell hit him. The air changed instantly. A sharp, metallic, burning odor, like chemicals, like industrial gas, like something not meant to be inhaled. His throat tightened, his lungs burned, his eyes watered. His body began to fail. This wasn't panic. This was physical, real. Something in the air was affecting him. He tried to resist, but his strength disappeared. His coordination slipped. His senses blurred. The last thing he remembered was being pulled toward that dark, hovering object. Then nothing. No fading, no gradual blackout. Just gone. When Taylor woke up, he was lying on the ground, cold soil against his face. The forest was silent. The object was gone. The spheres were gone. Everything looked normal, except it wasn't. His throat burned. His voice barely worked. His body felt disoriented, as if something had scrambled his nervous system. Then he looked around and saw the evidence. In the center of the clearing were 2 parallel rows of impressions pressed into the ground. Perfectly spaced, mechanical, too precise to be natural. The grass in a wide circular area was flattened, as if something had hovered above it and pushed downward. He looked at his legs. His trousers were torn, not randomly, not from falling, but pulled upward from exactly where the spheres had grabbed him. This wasn't imagination. This was physical. Something had been there. Something had touched him. Taylor made it home, shaken and barely able to speak. His wife immediately called the police and the doctor. What happened next is where the story stops being just strange and starts becoming something else, because the police didn't dismiss him. They investigated. They went to the clearing. They saw the impressions. They photographed them. They measured them. They confirmed the ground disturbance. His clothing was analyzed, consistent with upward tearing force. A doctor confirmed chemical irritation in his throat. Everything pointed to one conclusion: something real had happened. And so the police did something almost unheard of. In cases like this, they opened a criminal file. The classification: assault by person or persons unknown. Let that sink in. Not a misunderstanding, not a hallucination, not a false report. An assault. Something had attacked Robert Taylor, and they had no idea what. At this point, most people assume the story goes one of two ways: aliens or mystery. But there's a third possibility, one that might be more disturbing than either. Because years later, researchers began asking a different question. What if this wasn't extraterrestrial at all? What if it was human behind the scenes? Governments weren't just building weapons. They were developing technologies far beyond what the public knew existed. Cases similar to Taylor's: low-altitude craft, small spherical devices, physical interaction, clustered in rural areas with low radar coverage, places where secret tests could happen unnoted. Dechmont Woods was one of those places. According to this theory, what Taylor encountered wasn't a UFO. It was a field test. The large, dome-shaped object, a silent, hovering platform. The spheres, early autonomous devices, primitive drones designed to interact with targets. The gas, either propulsion, exhaust, nor a deliberate incapacitating agent. The mission unknown. But here's the key point. Taylor wasn't supposed to be there. The area had likely been chosen because it was empty. No witnesses, no interference. But that morning, a forestry worker walked into the test zone, and the system did exactly what it was designed to do. It detected him. It engaged. It neutralized him. Now, here's where the conspiracy becomes subtle, because there's no evidence of threats. No men in suits. No erased records. Instead, something quieter happened. The case was acknowledged and then contained by labeling it assault by persons unknown. Authorities validated the event while ensuring it would go nowhere. No aviation investigation, no military inquiry, no escalation, just a file, open, unsolved, and buried in bureaucracy. So what really happened in that clearing? If it was a hallucination, how do you explain the physical evidence? If it was extraterrestrial, why does it look so much like human engineering? If it was a secret program, why has no one ever come forward? That's the problem with this case. Every explanation fit until it doesn't. The alien theory is comforting. It places the event outside human responsibility, something unknown, something distant. But the human theory, that's different, because it means this wasn't an accident of the universe. It was a mistake made by people, a system deployed where it shouldn't have been, a civilian caught in something he was never meant to see. And then silence. Today, Dechmont Woods looks exactly as it always has. Quiet, our ordinary. A small plaque marks the spot. It doesn't explain anything. It just acknowledges that something happened. Visitors stand there, sometimes looking at the trees, the grass, the sky, trying to feel something, trying to understand. But the forest doesn't answer. Robert Taylor lived the rest of his life without ever knowing what he encountered. He never claimed certainty. Only one thing: something was there. It touched him. It left marks. And then it disappeared. Maybe the truth is hidden in some classified file. Maybe it's been forgotten. Or maybe, just maybe, it's still happening.